welcome. Thank you so much for joining me here today for this tarot reading, this general pick a card with 3 groups for you today. The topic I've picked is messages from your soul, and it's one that I like to do more readings on for you in general. It's part of my my greater work here to help you connect with your inner guidance, with the information from your soul, and to learn how to navigate your life through your natural, authentic impulses. And very often the soul is the energy and the consciousness that's communicating to you where you need to step next in order to grow. That's the place where the desire to evolve is coming through. It's from your soul. So there could be times where the information is blocked or distorted or fragmented or boxed up. Many different reasons why the signal between our awareness in the 3D and our soul's messages don't always connect. So I hope that this reading will help you to hear what your soul has been trying to tell you, or perhaps as a confirmation for some information that's already been coming through. So because it's a general reading, always take the messages with a filter on for what will serve your greatest good. Don't just swallow it up as if it's instruction for exactly how you need to do things or exactly what you need to change, for example. Just use your own judgment and your own intuition for what works for you. And my goal here is just to open up some windows for you, some communication portals between you and your soul, so that you can strengthen and deepen that connection on your own journey. So 3 groups here for you today. Group 1 is this pile of pebbles. Group 2 is this crystal egg. And group 3 is this feather. So take your time in choosing. You can pause the video if you need to and just connect with yourself first, and then see which one of the piles you're most drawn to. It could be the location, it could be the object itself, or it could even be the timestamp. Usually it's the one that you feel pulled to first, so don't question yourself, and I will see you at your reading. Well, group 1, thank you so much for joining me here, those of you who chose this little pile of beach pebbles. So let's get going in your reading and have a look at what it is that your soul would like for you to know, group 1. Okay. The Devil coming out and the 8 of Swords. Nine of Cups. Switch decks in a moment. Hierophant. That was just closing this. Let's see if these cards come through again. Switch the deck. Okay, the Ace of Wands. Okay, 7 of Cups and the King of Pentacles. Okay, let's start with this for now. Okay, I just need to hold the token so I can channel you properly, group 1. Okay, so let's start first with the 8 of Swords coming with the Devil. So it feels as though you're not looking up. You're looking down or into the past, or in some reversed way. You're not looking forward into the future or into the opportunities. The sense I get from you is that you're in a very nice, it's almost like a womb. You're in utero at the moment, and you are rejuvenating and getting ready to create. So this is a time of refreshment and if your mind is focusing on the past, or focusing on evil, focusing on the devil, focusing on what you think should have been but isn't, or looking at maybe even making yourself suffer by thinking about things that could have been a different way or shouldn't be as they are now, you're really flipping over your cups. You're draining out your potential. You have a lot to offer and a huge amount of creativity. I'm sorry about that background noise. Huge amount of creativity is coming in for you, but it's important that you face up instead of face down. So you really need to check the orientation of your consciousness and the orientation of your mind. Okay, this is your soul coming through here, and this is your 3D awareness showing up. So your power is great, but in a way you're dumping it out and cutting yourself off by constantly looking into the past, focusing on lost opportunities, and then in a way recalibrating yourself by focusing on the physical, trying to make up for what you believe you need to compensate for, by being productive, by being successful, by being organized, by being orderly. And you're not noticing the sprouting of new seeds, the blossoming new flowers that are actually coming up in your reality. I'll show you what I'm looking at on this King of Pentacles card. So it's like he's hidden. You're hidden. You're hiding from yourself, and that's also what the devil does, right? He's showing us what you see is what you get. So it seems as though the King of Pentacles on face value is about material value, material worth, and being the master of the physical domain. But what's lighting up to me on this card, because I'm reading intuitively, are these little flowers in the bottom corner. And that's what's missing in terms of you checking into that. You're not clicking into this reality. You're over-focusing on this superficial stuff, when in fact your soul is trying to bloom through. It's trying to break through, but your mind is creating a stopper because you're choosing to focus into the past. So I'll put this down for a moment and let's get you some advice from your soul group one. King of Cups in reverse. 8 of Pentacles in reverse. Okay, 7 of Swords. 6 of Wands and the 8 of Wands. And the 5 of Pentacles. Okay, so let's organize this a bit according to the questions. Okay. Don't walk away from yourself. That's one of the biggest notes that I'm hearing. Do not walk away from yourself. Do not hide from yourself. Walk forward with positive, transformative intention. So where you feel like you're moving backwards, where you feel like you're feeling backwards, or maybe it's not that you're feeling backwards because you're focusing into the past. It could be that you're focusing into old wounds, focusing into moments that have long gone, that are no longer the case, but yet your consciousness is still trying to work with them, trying to sort it out and break through. But you don't have to work with these previous wounds so much anymore, these past versions of yourself. It would serve you more to find some strength in your accomplishments, or some strength in your values or your emotions, even things that are natural for you. You don't need to feel like there's something wrong with you, that there's anything you need to hide. You're good enough already as it is, and maybe part of the reason that you're looking back into the past is you're trying to figure out what's wrong with me, and you're wanting to solve these old wounds so that you can feel good enough and worthy enough to move forward today. See this 6 of Wands, holding it a bit awkwardly, that 6 of Wands surrounded by these reverse cards and these sort of sneaky cards, 7s and 5s. You've got yourself a little bit stuck or a little bit trapped, feeling less powerful than the job at hand. So the tasks that you need to complete maybe feel greater than you, but they're not. You don't need to find the solutions in the past. You don't need to find the solutions by trying to make yourself stronger in healing those old wounds. You need to let go of those potentials that are no longer going to be. So maybe you didn't quite make it on time, you didn't catch the train on these old paths, but you could say that it was a blessing, because those are now tracks that you are not traveling that may have led you to more grief, more sorrow, more pain. And if you're feeling a bit worn out or a bit unworthy of this victory that is right under your nose, slow down and don't try so hard. You'll get a lot more power and a lot more energy from getting back into your center space, meaning stop all action, because what I mean by that is stop all energetic action. Stop trying to push or force so much within you. There's a lot to be gained by just stopping the resistance. If you ever played with goop when you were a kid, you know that cornstarch and water mixture, sometimes with food coloring added, when you pick it up and squeeze it, it gets really tough. It's showing you how what you resist persists. It turns rock hard when you squish it, but if you let it go and relax your palm, it turns into liquid and it will slide through easily. So there's some past pains or insecurities or not good enoughs that you're really holding on to, trying to work out and resolve and make better. Like you're going back into the old bucket, the basket of things that you already gave away for donation, and you're trying to see, well, maybe I can make this into a bag, or maybe I can mend this dress and make it beautiful again. But actually those are old materials that you don't need to be working with. There's so much more for you in the future if you just let go of the past. Okay, let's see if there's any final messages for you from your soul group 1. The moon. Yes. Any more? Page of Cups. Okay. I started going off on a tangent asking questions about specifically what kind of resources you need or what needs you might need to meet, but then I was gently reminded that this is a reading on what your soul wants to tell you, not what I would like to ask for you on your behalf. So what your soul would like you to know here is shown in the Moon card and the Page of Cups. So even though you're feeling insecure and maybe feeling torn between two worlds, you don't know if you want to be free and be wild and just live at your own pace, or maybe you're feeling pulled into the security of the known, into the security of the routine, the rhythm, the pre-established known. And it's frightening you to get out of your old waters and move into freedom, actually. And perhaps you're feeling a little bit awkward, clumsy, like you don't know this new game. That's a message that's been coming through a lot recently, so probably a lot of people going through a very transformative time, which is really lovely to hear, because overall it feels that we're coming back into a more coherent, cohesive, collective whole, where you'll see that downstepping into our physical plane through more cooperation, more love, more kindness, more generosity, and respect for one another. Right now we're programmed into a very individualistic kind of game, and so we're out for ourselves, and in the end being out for yourself can move you into mutation, because you're not growing yourself relative to the greater whole of which you are part. It's like one cell in a body going rogue. That's not going to go well for that cell in the long run, and it's not going to go well for the whole body down the line. So it's really nice to see that you're coming back to your wholeness, to your fullness, to your real potential. And actually what's breaking down or breaking through is your ego structures, what's right, what's wrong, how you've been programmed by society or your family perhaps. That is all crashing down, and now you're feeling a little bit raw, a little bit exposed, or perhaps like a fish out of water. but you are in the water, you are in the game, you're in the right place at the right time. Your soul would like you to know all is well with you. So you don't need to feel scared of this discomfort. Just think of it like easing yourself into a new environment. The air is a slightly different temperature, the fragrances in the air are slightly different because there might be different kind of plant life. You're in a new ecology, and it will take you some time on the mind level, on the ego level, on the psyche level to adjust, to adapt to this new zone, but you are in the place that will serve you best. Whether that's a physical place, a new location, a new job maybe, a new environment in any context, family, work, etc., right? Lots of different possibilities here, this being a general reading. So I'm not seeing specifically where or how, but I can feel your mood, your feeling, your context of growth. The framework is to adapt, to give yourself time to adjust, to let go of the past so that you can shed it all, leave it all behind, and allow these beautiful little flowers that are starting to blossom here to bud into their full bloom. Just give it time, space, air, sun. Let yourself be so that you can shed and expand. Okay, thank you so much, Group 1. That's what I have for you today. If you'd like to know more about me or to have a private reading or a personal consultation, you can check out the description box for links. That's all for now. Thank you so much, Group 1. Group 2, hello, those of you who chose this crystal egg. So let's get started on your reading. For you, Group 2, messages from your soul, please. Okay, Sun. Four of coins, 9 of coins. Queen of Wands, 2 of Cups, King of Wands. Wow. Group 2. Look at all this fire, this creative fire. So let's start here for now. Okay, so this line is showing that you're in a very good place at the moment. Creativity is flowing, you're feeling like you're very powerful, generally speaking, and you can see yourself in a very nice light. So you even have a kindness and a tenderness towards yourself, and that shines out onto other people. So you may be a very compassionate, gentle kind of person, very tender. And you're quite aligned with your inner being. You know what's good for you, you know what's right, generally speaking. You can feel conscience through your heart, and you're good at elaborating on that and expanding yourself in this true nature into your life. So it's like you can weave yourself into your existence and into your relationships and your surroundings in a constructive and positive and uplifting way. People like to have you around them. But maybe you're feeling a little bit stuck, blocked, or like your power is being usurped or undercut, undermined, maybe even sabotaged, although it doesn't feel that extreme here. It feels mild, but let's clarify this Queen of Wands. What does Group 2 say? Let them to know here with this Queen of Wands. Oh, isn't that the truth? Yeah. So the 8 of Swords also came through with the with Group 1. And I think that's because, generally speaking, this is how we are when it comes to our spirituality. And the messages from the subtle realms and the messages from our own soul. We're quite blind to that, and it can be a self-creating process where we block out or put aside those inspired messages or those guiding messages that are true for our own growth. And that's because we've been programmed to listen to the messages from the outside, or programmed first to be disconnected from this awareness. That can happen quite a bit in certain parenting styles. And then we move into the education system. Sorry for getting a little bit political or judgmental here. That's not my intention, but it does seem to happen, and it does make me angry when people are systematically removed from their internal guidance, their internal connection, because that's the information that you need to evolve the most. Your soul's growth will benefit the most, and your life will benefit the most, and those around you, the collective, will benefit the most when you're living in tune with your true nature. And so when we're conditioned out of that connection, and conditioned or diverted into listening to a programmed existence, this is the internal result. This is how we start to feel. But it looks like group 2, you've done quite a good job of maintaining this connection. Maybe you've done a lot of healing work, or maybe you're a very watery person, you're feeling intuitive, emotional, and so it's harder to box that in. So in order to be healthy and to thrive and to be abundant, you've learned to harness the power of these abstract ways of being and knowing that are most natural to you. But you are feeling stuck, blocked, or a little bit reversed, and maybe in this case for you, sorry about that tangent I went on earlier, it has to do with making a decision. You're not quite in line, and you're not sure what to choose, and that is a sticking point for you, or it's possible that the block is making it hard for you to see the truth. So let's get some advice for you, group 2. What does your soul want you to know? I'm going to clarify the clarifier, and then this 4 of coins. What does your soul want you to know, group 2, about this 2 of swords? Okay. So what I hear here is that you're walking away from your true path. So if there is a direction that you're being pulled towards, and maybe that's why I went off on this tangent here, if you're being pulled towards a direction in life because you think it's the right thing, or it's what you were told you should do, or it's just what people are meant to do, pull back and really question yourself. Are you doing the right thing for your greatest good? Is this a loving choice for you? And if it's not, then you may want to reconsider. You may want to rework this plan in a way that will serve you as well, because it looks like you're walking away from, sorry about that background noise, a lot of bikes drive past my window. It looks like you might be walking away from something that is there for you. These 8 cups are glowing. They're full of grapes and wine and figs and chocolate. It's just a very abundant collection of energies, and you're walking away from them. You're in a tough place maybe, or maybe you feel quite sure that you need to walk away, and it's making you feel lighter. So that could be the case as well. Sorry for the confusing double messages here, but if you're feeling like moving away from something is helping you to expand your wings, then you're on the right track. But if it's making you feel blocked, stuck, or compressed, then that could be something you want to reconsider. So let's clarify now, please. The 4 of Cups. Okay, the Queen of Wands in the upright position. We're here. She was coming through in the downward. So we're on the right track here. These 2 cards are double speaking on the same subject. And then the Hanged Man. Okay, so you need to go to the block. You don't need to question your choices or your steps right now. You need to go to the block and clear that away. Okay, so what do we have here? You're feeling a bit stuck in terms of looking towards your future. And that's quite normal, because at the moment many of us can't see the future. The timelines, the realities, slices are shifting and not settling, and things are kind of in limbo at the moment. So the organizing factor is your own energy, how you're carrying yourself internally, and that's the most important thing at the moment. So you can't see the future, and that's making you feel suspended. And maybe like you're going backwards. But you're not going to the past. It's more like this abyss feeling. You just don't know what to do with yourself, how to move forward. You're looking for the path, but you cannot find the steps. So if you move inward, group 2, if you move inward, group 2, you will find the answers that you are seeking. Sorry about the drilling. Now there's construction. You feel like you're in the darkness, but you're actually not. You're already in the light. And there may be some slowdowns that you need to take. There might be something for you in group 1 as well, actually. Because we also had the theme there of slowing down. You really do have the wisdom to go within, so there's nothing that you'll find in the inside of you that you won't know what to do with. There's just a little bit of disorganization, like a tangled ball of yarn that needs to be sorted out. That's really the block. So you're looking towards the future. You're seeing the past, but the present just feels like a mess, and so it's like your feet are tied in these tangles. And if you suspend judgment and take a day or 2 or 3, you know, it's not going to take you a long time at all. Maybe with a journal, maybe with meditation, maybe just going out in nature and spending some time in silence, that your mind is not being activated or stimulated by noise like the background. Forgive me for that. And things will start to untangle themselves, and then you will see your way. You will see your way, and you will be able to make a clear choice and not walk aimlessly backwards and forwards and backwards and forwards in a loop. That will end. Just take some silence so that your mind can untangle and organize itself, and that'll open the channel and clear the way for you to hear the messages once again from your soul. Okay, that's what I have for you, group 2. Thank you so much for joining me here. If you'd like to know more or to inquire about a personal consultation or reading with me, you can check out the box below. Thanks, group 2. Take care. Bye for now. Hi, group 3. Thanks for being here, those of you who chose this feather. So let's start on your reading and have a look at what messages your soul has for you, what your soul would like you to know. That was fast. Okay, Page of Pentacles. Let's start there, shall we? Group of 3. Your soul has quite a lot to say, and it feels like it's been screaming in your ear for quite a while about this one thing, or maybe for your whole life. It's just been talking to you and talking to you and talking to you, and you have not opened your ears, I'm sorry to say. Perhaps it's about a particular topic that you feel stuck on, or a particular path that it keeps urging you to go towards, and you resist and resist and resist and resist, And yet, this path is one of great happiness for you, but you keep fighting with it. You don't want to hear it, and you're trying to shut it down over and over and over again. But it feels like you're on the cusp of becoming open to it, but it scares you a bit because it's almost like you don't want to be at the mercy of some power that's greater than you. And you're afraid that if you allow yourself to hear what your soul wants you to hear, that you will have a burden of responsibility, or you'll have to start living in a way that's beyond your sense of your own power. You may also think that you'll have to let go of people or a lifestyle or something that's very important to you and a part of your personal security, your greater whole. Sorry about all that background noise there. So like groups 1 and 2, we also have the 4 of Pentacles. Sorry about that noise. The block. Not surprised that that card is coming through. We'll see if you get the 8 of Swords as well. But we had the 8 of Cups coming through in reverse as well in group 2. Anyway. It is understandable that it could be overwhelming for you to really allow this information to come in. It comes perhaps from an unknown place. It's abstract, it's unwieldy, so you might be, you might like to be somebody who's very rational and logical and ordered and systematic, analytical. But there is another nature to you that aligns more with your soul's way of being that you deny, and maybe you feel like that way just doesn't serve you in life. It's easier to function in the material world if you're logical and analytical and strategic. And it could be that that is why you're also blocking out the information from your soul. You're afraid that if you allow your spiritual connection to link in, that you won't be able to use these controlled ways of being, and rightfully so. But you need to find a balance. It's not all this way or all that way. Maybe you live in a city and you realize that you might have to move if you start listening to your soul or speaking its language. And if not moving from the city, maybe changing job or changing your lifestyle, changing your household. There's something about the home structure, the building structure, the daily structure of life that would really need to shift. And deep down, I think that you know that, you can feel it, and you don't want to upset your balance, and that's why you're refusing to listen. So, let's get you some advice. How would your soul, advise you to move forward? How interesting. Similar themes also in groups 1 and 2. And it makes sense, so I'll tell you what it is. So you need to drop the battle. Okay, so you might think that it's a greater risk than it actually is to just listen. So instead of fighting all the time, you need to switch that up and let go of the battle and take a more surrendered position. Okay? Let the analysis just float into the background for a moment so that your mind can have more liberated space to hear things through. You might need to prepare yourself for the possibility of having to change things. That doesn't mean that you actually have to change things, but it helps to see the truth when you can prepare yourself for what you fear the most. So if this happens, for example, what would I do about it? And I'm not saying that the worst would happen. I'm just saying that in order to allow your analysis and your mind and the fear to loosen its grip, you might need to make a little bit more conscious what it is exactly that you are feeling afraid of. and find solutions for those fears. You can find logical, rational solutions for those fears, or question how realistic they actually are. And in doing that, you'll make the space for your mind to exhale a little bit, and you can begin to explore what it is that your soul would like for you to hear or know. I have a feeling that it has to do with potential projects, that it has to do with creativity, planting seeds that you can later develop and unfold. So it could lead to a lot of growth, a lot of prosperity, if you do take the time to get out of this daily grind, this daily box. And I'm feeling that a lot for many people recently, that we're just sick of the routine, we're sick of the mold. And that's the energy and consciousness of the soul pushing through. Our psyche, our being, has had it. We're at the limit of doing things the same way, like robots. That systematic way of existing is breaking down, and we can no longer sustain ourselves in that way. So the collective is also evolving, and you're part of this evolving collective, and your soul is whispering to you, urging you, encouraging you to question these structures, question the past ways of doing things. And here, I'm looking at the lily pads and the flowers. Hear and feel and sense. Just have a look. What is trying to break through? What is trying to make itself known to your consciousness? And look at the beauty and the peace and the just lusciousness of allowing that to come through. So just take the time to listen. That's, if I were to summarize it, that's what your soul wants you to know. Listen to me. So do what you need to do in order to quell the fears or manage them, so they don't shut down that information, so that you're not closing those subconscious portals for your soul to communicate through with you. And have a listen. Okay, thank you so much, Group 3. That's what I have for you. If you'd like to book a consultation with me, I offer healing and channeling and psychic advice in live consultation, or you can organize a personal tarot reading. They come pre-recorded. All the details are below. And that's all for now. Thank you so much, Group 3. Take care. Bye for now.